I came all the way from Arizona. And all the people in Arizona, if they could see, like right here, the pictures that people are taking, doesn't look like too many showed up, and we know that's not true. So, can everybody, I know I'm from Arizona, I get that it's hot, I get the sun, I get the shade. Come in a little bit. I want to take a family photo to send home. Come on in. All the speakers, come up. We're going to get like selfie style here.
Delaware's biggest selfie?
Yes, Delaware's biggest selfie right here. All right, here we go. Whoever's the speaker, get in here. Here we go. That is what I'm talking about. Thank you so much. You know, they try to ignore us. They try to say that we're a tiny little minority. And when they see this kind of turnout on a Sunday afternoon, this proves them wrong. So thank you for that. So as I said, I do come from Arizona, and I wanted to share with each of you, and as I look around this crowd of amazing, passionate American patriots, I know that each and every person out there has a personal and unique reason for why they carry their tool of defense, right? And so I wanted to share with you a little bit today about why I carry and why I am a passionate supporter of protecting and defending and restoring every syllable of our Second Amendment rights to keep and bear arms.
Yeah!
So recently I attended a panel discussion on the topic of assault and violence response. Now I want you to think about those words while I'm telling you our story today. It's assault and violence response. I'll tell you what I heard and what I saw. The panel was made up of police officers, social workers, a sex crimes prosecutor, and a domestic violence shelter for women and children victims. These are all fine people who are very serious and very well-meaning in their professions, but all of whom are only there for you and for me after we have become victims of assault and violence. For 2 hours, I listened to well-thought-out after-action reports from each of these people. They know that assault and violence are going to happen because they each have their area of expertise in how to deal with it afterwards. Yet never once did I hear them talk about how we can respond by preventing assault and violence in the first place.
Yeah!
Absolutely. Their captive audience who were sitting there looking to the professionals for help and information never once heard that 2.5 million times each and every year a responsibly armed citizen responds to assault and violence and saves lives. Never once did they say that 200,000 times each year a woman prevents assault and rape by being a responsibly armed citizen. This is why I carry. This is why I have instilled the same wisdom in my daughter. And she, in turn, will teach and train her 2 daughters. Our family will have a legacy that our founding fathers constitutionally protected for us all those 240 plus years ago in the right and the necessity to keep and bear arms.
That's right!
During the panel, I listened to words piled on top of words about how we can help women, mostly, but men also, after they have been violently attacked or raped. I heard police officers talk about how they will make careful reports after the woman had been violated or killed. The prosecutor spoke of how the case against the accused would be handled after the attack or murder. The social worker encouraged those of us in the audience to believe women when they speak up after their lives are irreparably changed through the violence inflicted on them by others. And the people who run the shelter spoke of how the needed care and counseling would be offered to those whose lives have been shattered and upended after their lives had been shattered and upended. In each of the minds of these panelists, the only response is to wait for people's lives, women and men alike, children's lives, to be negatively impacted by a violent attack. One panelist even shared with us about how one survivor is going through the process of healing and going from victim to survivor. And this survivor said that the attack left her disconnected from her own sense of self. Her healing involves learning to trust her body again and to be reintegrated with her own body. And after being brutalized by a violent attacker, that her very skin, her arms, her hands, her legs have become foreign objects to her. I cannot imagine what greater theft there could ever be than robbing someone of their own being, their own selfness. Yet, every single day, we are robbed of our rights, the very rights we need to prevent this from becoming our own stories. We hear women tell other women that guns, the very thing, the very tool of self-defense that prevents violent attacks and rape 200,000 times every year, are just not for us. We're just much too delicate, don't you see? Yeah. Not here. And that moms, good moms, mind you, they don't have such objects in their homes.
I do!
Me too. Thank you. Yep. Absolutely. Another panelist spoke of how the victim is, in fact, always blamed for the attack in courts, in personal conversations, and in thinly veiled questions about what they were wearing and why were they at that party anyway. The very same people who tell us not to defend ourselves and to protect ourselves, and the very same people who march and scream for the government to rob us of our rights to self-defense, are the ones who will blame us when we have been brutalized, raped, or murdered because we were unarmed, disarmed, and defenseless when our response to assault and violence required us to be armed. So as I wrap up, I want to remind you, as though this crowd needs to be reminded, that you are your own first responder. In the immediacy of assault and violence, you will be responding to what is happening to you. All those other people, those well-meaning people, they come later. And they help, but they do not prevent. And this is why it is vital to protect, defend, and restore every syllable of our Second Amendment rights in Delaware and in Arizona, from where I'm from, and every city and every state across this nation. Our rights are under daily assault, and the only thing standing between the rights restrictors and the gun grabbers and the moms who demand some unnamed vague action, whatever, and the protections and rights that our children and our children's children need is you right now, today, not after.